Hello. So today's question, we're going to start this series off right. Everybody wants to know specifics about their past lives, like who they were, where they were, what kind of country did they live in, what their ethnicity was. So today we're actually going to focus on location. So how do exactly you find out what kind of location you were in your past life? So one of the first things that we can look for is any landmarks. So typically when you have specific questions about where you are, you'll be shown a landmark even if it doesn't fit in the context of the scene inside your memory. For example, if you go, if you are somewhere in England, you may see Big Ben, even though you're not in London, if that makes any sense. Sometimes our subconscious shows us things if they're relevant to us. A lot of times location isn't very irrelevant unless you're just doing this for curiosity's sake or you're trying to research it later. But often reasons for visiting past life memories have more to do with feelings and other people versus locations. So the first way that you can do that is to look for a landmark. Sometimes they will show up and sometimes they won't. You can also check out the geography of the place. So for example, if you are in a desert, then you can kind of research, okay, well, there's 500 deserts in the world. I don't know that. Don't quote me on that one. But you can at least know that you are in a desert environment, and you can kind of use other clues to back that up and narrow down your location in your past life memory. You can also talk to other people there. So if you're having a conversation, a certain dialect comes up, a certain language comes up, then you're going to know that you're in a certain part of the world and kind of be able to deduce from there where you actually are. So then, how do we actually get there? Well, first, we have to set an intention. Intentions are almost mandatory to have a past life regression. You have to go in either knowing that you're just going you're going in out of curiosity. So you're either going to see and experience whatever you're going to see and experience, or you have a certain intention. I want to see who I was to this particular person in a past life. So all those things are intentions. And so we also have to have a twofold intention. So your first one is the reason for having the regression in the first place. The second one is to find the specific location that you were there. So it's actually dual intentions for one regression. Those are more easily done if you're working with a past life therapist versus trying to do it yourself. However, you can actually do that yourself. And the way that's going to work is if you have had a past life memory before, if you've experienced that already, you can set the intention to go back into that memory and learn specifics. And so one of those specifics would be, I want to know what location I was in when I experienced XYZ. So that would be your intention for that. And then the third way that you can actually get information about a regression or about a memory in regression is to ask somebody there. So if you are in a crowd of people, for example, all memories are not literal. I will go over that in a different video. It's not relevant here. But sometimes when your memories are not literal, you can actually ask someone next to you or ask your guide that has gone with you, hey, where am I? That's going to give you some information about location as well, as long as it's fairly relevant to your intention, of course. And so probably the last thing to really dig in deep with is why location actually matters. So again, if you're going in out of curiosity and you had this really deep memory and you want to explore that further, that may be a reason, but it doesn't mean that you're always going to get those answers. And so that is very likely when you saw the past life memory to really dive into an emotion or something that you're feeling or a present situation that you've got going on that you would like answers about. You may not get there. It's not always possible. I'm not going to tell you that it is. But why it, you really need to kind of dig in deep to find out why the location matters so much to you and why it's relevant. And then if it's just curiosity, you may come up with the answer because it matters, but it doesn't matter. If you go in out of curiosity and you find out, hey, I was in Scotland, for example, that may be really cool information, but it may not really pertain to anything that you necessarily need to know. It's just cool to have. So anyway, don't be afraid to have multiple regressions to go back to the same memory. Most of the time you will find out even further information, especially if you have a good intention to go back there. And then you can also set your intention to go to a guided landmark or have a guide or someone in your regression help you. And then, of course, you can always have a friend or a past life regression therapist ask you those questions. Sometimes your subconscious just knows. So if all of that makes sense to you, let me know in the comments below. If it doesn't make sense, I will also try to explain that a little bit better. But I do wish you luck on your location journeys. And if you want to find out how to kind of have multiple past life regressions so that you can get in and get out without having to work with a therapist every single time, let me know that as well in the comments, and I will give you the link to go and take a look at the ultimate do-it-yourself past life kit. That's where you can have multiple regressions. You can get started instantly. You may even have one in 24 hours or less. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.